At the end of the cycling season, many cyclists put their bikes away and never really use them again until the spring. But for those brave enough, riding them from September through to January can have a fantastic effect on fitness and overall on the bike endurance. Fortunately, there are a few things you can do to make riding in the wet and cold almost enjoyable. Almost. The downside of riding at this time of year is of course the weather. Why on earth put yourself through it at all? Well, it's precisely now that we should be thinking about building a fitness base on which to build next season's speed and stamina. The more miles we put in between now and January, the further and faster we will be able to ride in the spring. If you're worried about taking your best bike out in the wet, and you know who you are, it's a good excuse to have a second bike specifically for off-season riding. It doesn't have to be expensive or particularly light. In fact, the heavier it is, the better workout it's going to give you. While they may not win you any prizes for style, a set of mudguards on your winter bike will stop most of the mud and road grime hitting your bike and, more importantly, hitting you. Looking like you've just finished Paris-Roubaix may look cool, but it's just going to make you feel cold and wet that much quicker. Chains need particular care during the winter. It's a good idea to give it a quick rub down to remove the grease and grime after every ride, and a full clean and lube once a week. A correctly maintained chain will last twice as long as one that's just left to its own devices. Because wet roads more readily hold on to things such as glass and flints, the risk of puncturing is that much greater. So make sure you have at least 2 spare tubes, tyre levers, pump and repair kit with you on every ride, and you know how to use them. If you don't, I show you how in a couple of my other films. Some people say that there's no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing, and this can be true on the bike. Because off-season weather can be changeable, it's a good idea to dress in layers such as gilets and arm and leg warmers that can be easily added to or removed as the temperature rises or falls. Make sure everything is cycling specific and breathable. If sweat can't escape, it will make you feel uncomfortable and clammy. For riding in the rain, a good quality waterproof jacket is essential. Not only will it keep you dry, but warm as well. Don't forget your hands and feet. When these get cold, your whole body feels it, so get yourself a set of good overshoes and warm gloves. It's generally darker during the off-season, so make sure other road users can see you with a good quality set of lights. You may also want to use some kind of high-vis jacket or tabard. Finally, take greater care when riding in the wet, as roads are generally a little more slippery due to oil and diesel spills. Similarly, avoid riding over things like metal manhole covers and road markings. Where possible, also try to avoid riding through puddles and standing water, as they can hide hazards such as potholes and drains. Just like in your car, your bike may take slightly longer to stop in the wet, so try to think ahead with your braking. So there's a few key pointers to help you get the most out of riding during the winter off-season. If you have any questions, leave a comment, but in the meantime, thank you for watching and check out some of my other films.